الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد.
Number 5. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Nabina Muhammad alayhi salam. Salatan tadumu wa tuda ilayh mamara layali wa tula dawam. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا فتحنا لك فتحا مبينا ليغفرك الله ما تقدم من ذنبك وما تأخر ويتم نعمته عليك ويهديك صراطا مستقيما وينصرك الله نصرا عزيزا. لقد جاءكم رسول من أنفسكم عزيز عليه ما عنتم حريص عليكم بالمؤمنين رؤوف رحيم. فإن تولوا فقل حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الفاتحة لنا ولكم يا حاضرون ووالدنا ووالدكم وأهالنا وأولادنا ولمشايخنا ولمن حضرنا ولمن غاب عنا ولأحيائنا ولأمواتنا وللمواظبين على هذا المجلس ولمن كان سببا في جمعنا بأن الله الكريم ينبر القلوب ويغفر الذنوب ويستر العيوب ويحفظنا بما حفظ به الذكر وينصرنا بما نصر به الرسول. وأن الله الكريم يجعل مجلسنا هذا محاطا بالخيرات والمسرات والأنوار والبركات ويقضي لنا جميع الحاجات بجاه خير البريات. وأن الله ينصر المسلمين وعلانية الله الكريم ينصر سلطان الأولياء مولانا الشيخ محمد ناظم عادل الحقاني قدس الله سره بجاه خير الأنام. وعلى كل نية صالحة مع حسن الخاتمة
عند الموت بعد عمر المديد في طاعة الله.
وإلى حضرة النبي بسر سورة الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أنت سلطاننا يا ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وتب علينا وزد حبيبك سيد الأولين والآخرين سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. زده يا رب عزا وشرافا ونورا وسرورا وسلطانا ورضوانا رغما في الشيطان ومن تبعه. عباد الله رجال الله غيثونا بأهل الله وكونوا عوننا في الله سنهزم بفضل الله. ويا أكتاب ويا أنجاب ويا سادات ويا أحباب عنكم يا أولي الألباب تعالوا وانصروا لله. عباد الله رجال الله غيثونا بأهل الله وكونوا عوننا في الله سنهزم بفضل الله. سألناكم وللزلفى رجوناكم وفي أمر قصدناكم فشدوا أمركم لله. عباد الله رجال الله غيثونا بأهل الله وكونوا عوننا في الله سنهزم بفضل بفضل الله فيا ربي بسادتي تحقق لي إشاراتي يا سادتي بشاراتي ويصفو أمرنا لله عباد الله رجال الله أغيثونا بأهل الله وكونوا عوننا في الله سنهدى بفضل الله بكشف الحجب عن عيني ورفع البين من بيني وصرف القلب والعين بنور الوجه يا الله عباد الله رجال الله أغيثونا بأهل الله وكونوا عوننا في الله سنهزم بفضل الله صلاة الله مولانا على من بالهدى جانا ومن بالحق أولانا شفي الخلق عند الله عباد الله رجال الله أغيثونا بأهل الله وكونوا عوننا في الله سنهزم بفضل الله مدد 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 يا سيد مدد 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 يا رسول الله مدد يا أبو بكر الصديق مدد يا عمر فاروق مدد يا عثمان غني مدد يا إمام علي مدد 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 يا سيد مدد 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 يا رسول الله مدد يا فاطمة زهرة مدد يا إمام حسن مدد يا إمام حسين مدد يا سلمان فارسي مدد 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 يا سيد مدد 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 يا رسول الله مدد يا قاسم مدد يا صادق مدد يا بسطامي مدد يا خرقاني مدد 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 يا سيد مدد 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 يا رسول الله مدد يا فرمادي مدد يا حمداني مدد يا خضر مدد يا غزواني مدد يا عارف مدد يا غناوي مدد 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 يا سيد مدد 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 يا رسول الله مدد يا رمتاني مدد يا سماسي مدد يا أمرولا مدد يا شاه نقشبند مدد يا عطارو مدد يا شارقي مدد 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 يا سيد مدد 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 يا رسول الله مدد يا أحراري مدد يا زاهدي مدد يا درويشو مدد يا أكناكي مدد يا بك بالله مدد يا سرهندي مدد 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 يا سيد مدد 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 يا رسول الله सूफी मदद या सैफुद्दीन मदद या बदवानी मदद या शम्सुद्दीन मदद या दहलावी मदद या बगदादी मदद 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 या सैयद मदद 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 या रसूल अल्लाह मदद या इस्माइल मदद या खस मुहम्मद मदद या राही मदद या मुकी मदद 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 या सैयद मदद 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 या रसूल अल्लाह मदद या सूरी मदद या मदनी मदद या शरफुद्दीन मदद या अब्दुल्लाह मदद 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 या सैयद मदद 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 या रसूल अल्लाह मदद या शेख नाज़िर मदद या शेख शाम मदद या शेख अदनान मदद या शेख आदिल मदद 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 या सैयद मदद 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 या रसूल अल्लाह मदद या साहिबुल वक्त मदद या फरदानी मदद या सिद्दीक़ुल मदद या मलिक मदद या इमाम आरिफीन मदद या साखावी मदद या मर्द मलहद मदद या गुज़लाना मदद 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 या सैयद मदद 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 या रसूल अल्लाह मदद या इमाम महदी मदद या खलीफतुल्लाह मदद या इमाम महदी मदद या खलीफतुल्लाह मदद 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 या सैयद मदद 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 या रसूल अल्लाह। जिनकी पेशानी पे हिदायत का सितारा है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद इल्म हकीकत का वो दरिया में किनारा है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद वाक़िफ़ हकीकत मोहम्मदिया है आशना हकीकत वहदानिया से है वाक़िफ़ हकीकत मोहम्मदिया है आशना हकीकत वहदानिया से है जिनकी नज़र में रहा आसमां का नज़ारा है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद जिनकी दलीलों से बसा बस का सर कलम जिनकी नज़र से हुआ शैता का वार गुम जिनकी दलीलों से बसा बस का सर कलम जिनकी नज़र से हुआ शैता का वार गुम नून से जुल्नून करे जिसका सहारा है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद। जिनकी है तख्लीक ज़माने से जुदासी, जिनको झुकाए खड़े सर अख्ताब वली भी, जिनकी है तख्लीक ज़माने से जुदासी, सर को झुकाए खड़े अख्ताब वली भी। मुल्क मलाकूत में है जिनका इजारा, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद। ज़ुल्मत व अंधेर तिलस्मात से कह दो, हर बला हर आफतों में धार से कह दो। ज़ुल्मत व अंधेर तिलस्मात से कह दो, हर बला हर आफतों में धार से कह दो। नूर ज़ुफ़शा महताब हमारा, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद। बहरे खुदाबंद में हू की सदा भी, याकूत या मरजान या लूलू की ज़िया भी। बहरे खुदाबंद में हू की सदा भी,
याकूत या मरजान
या लूलू की ज़िया भी। हैरत में बायज़ीद को भी जिसने पुकारा, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद। सर पे लिए अहले तरीक़त की इमामत, दस्तार फजीलत लिए दाई शरीयत। सर पे लिए अहले तरीक़त की इमामत, दस्तार फजीलत लिए दाई शरीयत। अज़मत की इंतहाओं का बेमिसल इदारा, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है खुदाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद। नक्श खुदा कल्बे मुंतही पे करे वा, दो अज़ 2000 इल्म बमेराज मुस्तफ़ा। नक्श खुदा कल्बे मुंतही पे करे वा, दो अज़ 2000 इल्म बमेराज मुस्तफ़ा। गौतुल खली का शाह नक्शबंद का नारा, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद। जिनकी पेशानी पे हिदायत का सितारा, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद। इल्म हकीकत का वो दरिया बेकिनारा, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद, है बहाउद्दीन शाह नक्शबंद। शेख अहमद सुगूरे, शेख अहमद सुगूरे, शेख अहमद सुगूरे, शेख अहमद सुगूरे। कुतुबों के इमाम आप हैं, साहिब इल्हाम आप हैं। कुतुबों के इमाम आप हैं, साहिब इल्हाम आप हैं। साहिब समातो नजर, हादिए तमाम आप हैं। दीजिए हमें हुजूरे शेख अहमद सूरे, दीजिए हमें हुजूरे शेख अहमद सुगूरे, शेख अहमद सुगूरे, शेख अहमद सुगूरे। कल्ब को जिला करें अता, नफ्स की भी तरबियत करें, कल्ब को जिला करें अता, नफ्स की भी तरबियत करें। मारिफत हो रूह को अता, अक्ल की भी परवरिश करें। कीजिए मुराद पूरी शेख अहमद सुगूरे, कीजिए मुराद पूरे शेख अहमद सुगूरे, शेख अहमद सुगूरे, शेख अहमद सुगूरे। मारिफत हो या फना बका, आपकी मुहीत में हुए, मारिफत हो या फना बका, आपकी मुहीत में हुए। हर अलूम ज़ाहिर व बातिन दस्तरस में आपकी रहे, साहिबे रमूज़ नूरे शेख अहमद सुगूरे, साहिबे रमूज़ नूरे शेख अहमद सुगूरे, शेख अहमद सुगूरे, शेख अहमद सुगूरे। हुक्म रहा आपका रवां, वुसअतों में आपकी उड़ान, हुक्म रहा आपका रवां, वुसअतों में आपकी उड़ान। औलिया हो या हो मलाहे, या जमीन में बसे हिवान, बहरो बर में जी हुजूरे शेख अहमद सुगूरे, बहरो बर में जी हुजूरे शेख अहमद सुगूरे, शेख अहमद सुगूरे, शेख अहमद सुगूरे। अक्सनुमा शेख गुमों के शाहिद अनबार इलाही, अक्सनुमा शेख गुमों के शाहिद अनबार इलाही। फैज़ मुबारक से आपके है मदनी और शरफुद्दीन, सिलसिला है आपका नूरे शेख अहमद सुगूरे, सिलसिला है आपका नूरे शेख अहमद सुगूरे, शेख अहमद सुगूरे, शेख अहमद सुगूरे, शेख अहमद सुगूरे, शेख अहमद सुगूरे। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि व सल्लिम व बारिक अलैहि व अला आलिहि। Your day, Thursday. Page 38, inshallah. उर्दू वाली बुक। ये सब तुम्हारा करम है आका, ये सब तुम्हारा करम है आका, के बात अब तक बनी हुई है, कोई सलीका है आरज़ू का, कोई सलीका है आरज़ू का, न बंदगी मेरी बंदगी है, ये सब तुम्हारा करम है आका, ये किससे मांगेंगे तुम ही दोगे, तुम्हारे घर से ही लो लगी है, ये सब तुम्हारा करम है आका, ये सब तुम्हारा करम है आका। अता किया मुझको दर्द उल्फत, कहाँ थी ये पुरखता की किस्मत, अता किया मुझको दर्द उल्फत, कहाँ थी ये पुरखता की किस्मत। मैं इस करम के कहाँ था काबिल, मैं इस करम के कहाँ था काबिल, हुजूर की बंदा परवरी है, ये सब तुम्हारा करम है आका, ये सब तुम्हारा करम है आका। तजल्लियों के कफील तुम हो, मुराद क़ल्बे खलील तुम हो, तजल्लियों के कफील तुम हो, मुराद क़ल्बे खलील तुम हो, खुदा की रोशन दलील तुम हो, खुदा की रोशन दलील तुम हो, ये सब तुम्हारी ही रोशनी है, ये सब तुम्हारा करम है आका, ये सब तुम्हारा करम है आका। बशीर कहिए नज़ीर कहिए, उन्हें सिराज मुनीर कहिए, बशीर कहिए नज़ीर कहिए, उन्हें सिराज मुनीर कहिए। जो सर बसर है कलाम मेरा भी, जो सर बसर है कलाम मेरा भी, वो मेरे आका की जिंदगी है, ये सब तुम्हारा करम है आका, ये सब तुम्हारा करम है आका। यही है खालिद असास रहमत, यही है खालिद बिनाए अज़मत, यही है खालिद असास रहमत, यही है खालिद बिनाए अज़मत। नबी का इरफान जिंदगी है, नबी का इरफान जिंदगी है, नबी का इरफान बंदगी है, ये सब तुम्हारा करम है आका, ये सब तुम्हारा करम है आका। के बात अब तक बनी हुई है, कोई सलीका है आरज़ू का, कोई सलीका है आरज़ू का। न बंदगी मेरी बंदगी है, ये सब तुम्हारा करम है आका, ये सब तुम्हारा करम है आका। पेज 44 इंशाल्लाह। नबी का जिक्र ही खुदा का जिक्र है, नबी का जिक्र ही खुदा का जिक्र है, नबी की बात ही खुदा की बात है। यदुल्ला कह दिया तो साबित हो गया, यदुल्ला कह दिया तो साबित हो गया। नबी का हाथ ही खुदा का हाथ है, नबी का जिक्र ही। सल्ले अला नबीना सल्ले अला मुहम्मद, सल्ले अला शफीना सल्ले अला मुहम्मद। हम पे ऐसी अता है नबी की, भूल जाएंगे कैसे हमको खतरे गम नहीं, करम हुजूर का हमारे साथ है। नबी का जिक्र ही सल्ले अला नबीना सल्ले अला मुहम्मद सल्ले अला शफीना सल्ले अला मुहम्मद। उनके सदके ही महके हुए हैं दो जहां के नजारे, उनके फैज़े करम से है रोशन कहकशां और सितारे। ये सारी रोशनी, ये सारी दिलकशी, ये सारी रोशनी, ये सारी दिलकशी मेरे नबी के हुस्न की ज़कात है। नबी का जिक्र ही सल्ले अला नबीना सल्ले अला मुहम्मद सल्ले अला शफीना सल्ले अला मुहम्मद। बेअमल हूँ मगर मेरे आका नज़र रहमत करेंगे, मेरे जैसे गुनाहगार की भी वो शफाअत करेंगे। बड़े अजीम हैं, बड़े करीम हैं, बड़े अजीम हैं, बड़े करीम हैं, वो जिनके हाथ में मेरी निजात है। नबी का जिक्र ही सल्ले अला नबीना सल्ले अला मुहम्मद सल्ले अला शफीना सल्ले अला मुहम्मद। वो जो कह दे वो के रहेगा, यही कहता है कुरान। उनका फारूकी जिंदा है फरमान, ये हमारा है ईमान। अगर वो दिल कहे तो रातें दिल बने, अगर वो दिल कहे तो रातें दिल बने। कहे वो दिल को रात तो वो रात है। नबी का जिक्र ही सल्ले अला नबीना सल्ले अला मुहम्मद सल्ले अला शफीना सल्ले अला मुहम्मद सल्ले अला नबीना सल्ले अला मुहम्मद सल्ले अला शफीना सल्ले अला मुहम्मद। पेज 46 इंशाअल्लाह। कोई नबी नहीं है मेरे मुस्तफ़ा के बाद, कोई नबी नहीं है मेरे मुस्तफ़ा के बाद। शेरे खुदा नहीं है अली मुर्तज़ा के बाद, शेरे खुदा नहीं है अली मुर्तज़ा के बाद। कोई नबी नहीं है मेरे मुस्तफ़ा के बाद, कोई नबी नहीं है मेरे मुस्तफ़ा के बाद। शेरे खुदा नहीं है अली मुर्तज़ा के बाद, शेरे खुदा नहीं है अली मुर्तज़ा के बाद। ना है किसी के बेटे हुसैन व हसन से और, ना है किसी के बेटे हुसैन व हसन से और, ना है किसी के बेटे हुसैन व हसन से और। ना फातिमा सीमा है कोई फातिमा के बाद, फातिमा सीमा है कोई फातिमा के बाद। कोई नबी नहीं है मेरे मुस्तफ़ा के बाद, शेरे खुदा नहीं है अली मुर्तज़ा के बाद। जैसी पढ़ी हुसैन ने तीरों की छाँव में, जैसी पढ़ी हुसैन ने तीरों की छाँव में, जैसी पढ़ी हुसैन ने तीरों की छाँव में। ऐसी नमाज फिर न हुई करबला के बाद, ऐसी नमाज फिर न हुई करबला के बाद। कोई नबी नहीं है मेरे मुस्तफ़ा के बाद, शेरे खुदा नहीं है अली मुर्तज़ा के बाद। अब्बास तेरे नाम को मैं अपने इश्क से, अब्बास तेरे नाम को मैं अपने इश्क से, अब्बास तेरे नाम को मैं अपने इश्क से। पहले वफा के लिखूं या लिखूं वफा के बाद, पहले वफा के लिखूं या लिखूं वफा खुदा के बाद, कोई नबी नहीं है मेरे मुस्तफा के बाद, शेरे खुदा नहीं है अली मुर्तजा के बाद। शबीर के बाई बुलाते रहे जिसे, शबीर के बाई बुलाते रहे जिसे, शबीर के भाई बुलाते रहे जिसे, हुरे और क्या सवाल करे इस अता के बाद, हुरे और क्या सवाल करे इस अता के बाद, कोई नबी नहीं है मेरे मुस्तफा के बाद, शेरे खुदा नहीं है अली मुर्तजा के बाद। दरबार शाम में कहा ज़ैनब ने सुन यज़ीद, दरबार शाम में कहा ज़ैनब ने सुन यज़ीद, दरबार शाम में कहा ज़ैनब ने सुन यज़ीद। डरते नहीं किसी से भी हम तो खुदा के बाद, डरते नहीं किसी से भी हम तो खुदा के बाद, कोई नबी नहीं है मेरे मुस्तफा के बाद, शेरे खुदा नहीं है अली मुर्तजा के बाद। इतने सितम हुए हैं मोहम्मद की आल पर, इतने सितम हुए हैं मोहम्मद की आल पर, इतने सितम हुए हैं मोहम्मद की आल पर। होती रही है इब्तिदा हर इंतहा के बाद, होती रही है इब्तिदा हर इंतहा के बाद, कोई नबी नहीं है मेरे मुस्तफा के बाद, शेरे खुदा नहीं है अली मुर्तजा के बाद, शेरे खुदा नहीं है अली मुर्तजा के बाद। Page 55. Qamarun, 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 Sidna al-Nabi qamarun, wa jamil, wa jamil, wa jamil, Sidna al-Nabi wa jamil, qamarun, 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 Sidna al-Nabi qamarun, wa jamil, wa jamil, wa jamil, Sidna al-Nabi wa jamil, wa kaffal Mustafa kal wardi nadi, Allah Allah, wa itrahu yabqa idha massat ayadi, Allah Allah, wa kaffal Mustafa kal wardi nadi, Allah Allah, wa itrahu yabqa idha massat ayadi, Allah Allah, wa amma nawaluha kull al-ibadi, wa amma nawaluha kull al-ibadi, wa amma nawaluha kull al-ibadi, Habibullahi ya khairul baraya, qamarun, 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 Sidna al-Nabi qamarun, wa jamil, wa jamil, wa jamil, Sidna al-Nabi wa jamil, wa la zillun lahu bal kana nura, Allah Allah, tarala ash-shamsu minhu wal budura, Allah Allah, tara zillun lahu bal kana nura, Allah Allah, tarala ash-shamsu minhu wal budura, Allah Allah, wa lam yakun al-huda lawla zuhura, wa lam yakun al-huda lawla zuhura, wa lam yakun al-huda lawla zuhura, wa kullu al-kawni anara binuri taha, qamarun, 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 Sidna al-Nabi qamarun, wa jamil, wa jamil, wa jamil, Sidna al-Nabi wa jamil, qamarun, 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 Sidna al-Nabi qamarun. صلوات بك إن شاء الله.
صلوات بك إن شاء الله. Which one you want? Anyone? Inshallah, Arabic first, inshallah. 49, inshallah. Allah, 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 ma lana mawlan siwa Allah, kullama nadayta yahu, qala ya abdiyana. Inshallah, page 51. صلى عليك الله يا أدناني يا مصطفى يا صفوة الرحمن الحمد لله الذي أعطاني هذا الغلام الطيب الأرضاني هذا الغلام الطيب الأرضاني قد ساد في المهدي على الغلمان أعيده بالبيت ذي الأركان حتى أراه بالغ البنيان أنت الذي سميت في القرآن أنت الذي سميت في القرآن صلى عليك الله يا أدناني Inshallah, page number 53. طلع البدر علينا من ثنيات الوداع
وجب الشكر علينا ما دعا لله ذا
أيها المبعوث فينا جئت بالأمر المطاع كن شفيعا يا حبيبي يوم حشر واجتماع طلع البدر علينا من ثنيات الوداع وجب الشكر علينا ما دعا لله ذا ربنا صل على من قل في خير البقاع أنت غوثنا جميعا يا مجاب الاتباع طلع البدر علينا من ثنيات الوداع وجب الشكر علينا ما دعا لله ذا ولبسنا ثوب عز بعد تلفيق الرقاع أسبل الستر علينا يا مجيبا كل دار طلع البدر علينا من ثنيات الوداع وجب الشكر علينا ما دعا لله ذا وصلاة الله على من أدى تحرير الرقاب وكذا آل وصحب المسعى لله سار طلع البدر علينا من ثنيات الوداع وجب الشكر علينا ما دعا لله
اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه.
صلاة بالسلام المبين لنقطة التعيين يا غرامي صلاة بالسلام المبين لنقطة التعيين يا غرامي نبي كان أصل التكوين من أهل كن فيكون يا غرامي
نبي كان أصل التكوين
من أهل كن فيكون يا غرامي
صلاة
بالسلام المبين لنقطة التعيين يا غرامي صلاة بالسلام المبين لنقطة التعيين
يا غرامي
يا من جاءنا حقا نذير مغيثا مسبلا سبل رشاد يا من جاءنا حقا نذير مغيثا مسبلا
سبل رشاد
صلاة بالسلام المبين ونقطة التعيين يا
غرامي
صلاة بالسلام المبين للغة الظاهرين
يا غرامي
الله يا الله يا الله يا الله 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 يا الله يا الله يا الله رسول الله يا دام الجبين ويا من جاء بالحق المبين رسول الله يا
ذوي الجبين ويا من جاء بالحق المبين صلاة بالسلام المبين لنقطة الطائر يا غرامي صلاة بالسلام المبين لنقطة الطائر يا غرامي صلاة لم تزل تطلع عليك كمطر النسيم تهدى إليك صلاة لم تزل تطلع عليك كمطر النسيم تهدى إليك صلاة بالسلام المبين لنقطة الطائر يا غرامي صلاة بالسلام المبين لنقطة الطائر يا غرامي. نور المصطفى نور المصطفى ملأ الأكوان ملأ الأكوان حبيبي محمد 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 غير المرسلين نور المصطفى نور المصطفى ملأ الأكوان ملأ الأكوان حبيبي محمد محمد
يا طيبة يا طيبة يا دوا العيان اشتقنا لك والهوى نادانا والهوى نادانا يا طيبة يا طيبة يا دوا العيان اشتقنا لك والهوى نادانا والهوى نادانا يا علي ابن أبي طالب منكم مصدر المواهب هل ترى هل أرى لي حاجب عندكم أفضل الغلمان أفضل الغلمان يا طيبة يا طيبة يا دوا العيان اشتقنا لك والهوى نادانا والهوى نادانا يا طيبة يا طيبة يا دوا العيان اشتقنا لك والهوى نادانا والهوى نادانا أصياد الحسن والحسين إلى النبي قرة العين يا شباب الجنتين جدكم صاحب القرآن صاحب القرآن يا طيبة يا طيبة يا ضوء العيان اشتقنا لك والهوى نادانا والهوى نادانا يا طيبة يا طيبة يا ضوء العيان اشتقنا لك والهوى نادانا والهوى نادانا أحمد يا حبيبي سلام عليك أحمد يا حبيبي سلام عليك
أحمد يا حبيبي سلام عليك
أحمد يا حبيبي سلام عليك يا عون الغريب سلام عليك يا نور الظلام سلام عليك يا دون الغريب يا نور الظلام سلام عليك أحمد يا حبيبي
سلام عليك
أحمد يا
حبيبي سلام عليك
أحمد يا حبيبي سلام عليك أحمد يا حبيبي سلام عليك يا أبا القاسم سلام عليك يا أبا الزهراء سلام عليك يا جد الحسين يا أبا الزهراء سلام عليك أحمد يا حبيبي سلام عليك أحمد يا حبيبي سلام عليك أحمد يا
حبيبي سلام
عليك أحمد يا حبيبي سلام عليك يا طه طبيبي سلام عليك يا محيي القلوب سلام عليك يا طهرة العين يا محيي القلوب سلام عليك أحمد يا حبيبي 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 سلام عليك يا صفوة الله سلام عليك يا رسول الله سلام Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra,
Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra,
Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, oh Ya Zahra,
Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, oh Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra,
Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, oh Ya Zahra,
Zahra, oh Nurul Aini, man azaha yu'zini. Zahra, oh Nurul Aini, man azaha yu'zini. Hakaza qala ar-Rasul, hakaza qala ar-Rasul. Fatima antil batul, ya Zahra, 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 oh ya Zahra. Fatima laki hubbi wa laki khutu darbi. Fatima laki hubbi wa laki khutu darbi. Yanmu dawma fi qalbi, yanmu dawma fi qalbi. Hubbun Fatima al-Rasul, ya Zahra, ya Zahra, ya Zahra, oh ya Zahra, ya Zahra, ya Zahra, ya Zahra, oh ya Zahra. Ilahi zid fi umri ma baqitu min duhri. Ilahi zid fi umri ma baqitu min duhri. Hubbun fi qalbi yajri, hubbun fi qalbi yajri. Hubbun Fatima al-Batul, ya Zahra, ya Zahra, ya Zahra, ya Zahra, ya Zahra, ya Zahra,
Ya Zahra,
oh ya Zahra. Sallu ala Taha Zain bi mawlid Ummul Hasnain. Sallu ala Taha Zain bi mawlid Ummul Hasnain. Nurun sati'un mubin, nurun sati'un mubin. Fatima antil batul, ya Zahra,
Ya Zahra,
ya Zahra, oh ya Zahra, ya Zahra, ya Zahra, ya Zahra, oh ya Zahra.
اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله إلى شرف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى أصحابه الكرام وعلى مشايخنا في طريقة النشبندية العلية والسائر وساداتنا صدقين الفاتحة. شهد يا رسول الكريم. آمين آمين. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Inshallah getting closer to Mawlid al-Nabi inshaAllah Rabiul Awwal opening soon. InshaAllah Allah give us life in which to see those lights and that beatific month inshaAllah. Fa'auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Atiyullah atiya Rasul ulul amri minkum. And always a reminder for myself, ana abdukal ajizu da'eefu miskeen zalim al-jahal, and but for the grace of Allah that we are still in existence. Alhamdulillah, in this holy month of Safar and the month of the cave and the heart of Sayyidina Muhammad which is the oceans of al-hayat, of eternity, not youth that is misunderstood in English, fountain of youth, it's the fountain of eternity. And that Allah is describing that this eternal fountain is a hijab of knowledge and wisdom, that one whom enters into this fountain of energy and the energy of eternity, and eternal light, eternal power that dresses the servant, and its byproduct is of heavenly knowledges, ulumul awwaleen wa akhirin, that the knowledges that are eternal, they are before time, after time, and they are of a timeless reality. That while most speak on terms of time and the physical world, that these are the oceans of eternity and eternal realities that are addressed for the soul, just the listening to them, to follow them, to live and eat and drink by them is an eternal dress upon the reality of the soul. And Surat al-Kahf is a immensity of how to enter into that heart, and the adab of accompanying one whom has been taught, who attained the rahmah. Because Allah said, these are a different category, waliyun murshidun are the awliya who are guides. There are awliya who don't speak and they serve a purpose by their soul, and there are those whom guide. And the one whom guides, Allah then gives an adab on how to accompany those whom they attain the mercy from Allah, and we described that that is the presence, the reality, the light and the beauty of Sayyidina Muhammad. And once that dresses them and blesses them by virtue of that proximity, then Allah describes, then they attain the knowledges. That Allah teaches their soul every reality that is necessary for them, that they have access like a Yahoo, the real Yahoo, that whatever knowledges need to come, that it's downloaded into their reality, and the adab of how to accompany them. And that was the dialogue between Sayyidina Musa and Sayyidina Khidr. And Allah wanted to show that from the great Prophets of Allah. That's why the example using of the highest caliber, highest reality of insan, so that nobody can come and say, no, with me you have to treat me differently. Because Allah said, no, this is Ulul Azam, these are of the 6 great Prophets of Allah who speaks to Allah. So imagine whatever people think their connection is or whoever they think they're related to, when Allah says, when we send you to become rushd, to gather your maturity, to gather the realities and the knowledges that will perfect your character, not the reading of somebody else's knowledge and somebody else's life, but these are servants whom they have lived through that reality. So when Allah sends you to them to become rushd, to be pukhta, to be prepared, to be preserved, to be sort of prepared and ripened. That's not something that you can read out to people. This is something that you must accompany them to reach that reality, and that's why then Allah gives that adab. And the first thing that Sayyidina Khidr begins to give to Sayyidina Musa is that you won't be able to, because what little you know or what you know and the knowledge of what you know that's incomplete will cause you to be agitated. So these are a reminder, every year we reach to this point, and a reminder that these knowledges in this way is not something easy, its understandings are not something easy. And there'll be a point in which the servant reaches, they become bewildered, confused by that knowledge. And that's when they think they know something and they want to talk back, they want to give a comment. It's not really a question but they actually want to make statements, because the mind is not capable of submitting, because the heart has no problem with anything. The heart is in taslim to Allah, but the mind is the problem. So then that's the warning of why we read these surahs on this journey, and then why the shaykh has to reiterate that we're at this point, the journey is beginning. This is now the cave of Prophet's heart, Mawlid is opening, which boom, the lights of this reality open. And those whom in the cave, their hearts should become open. If they heard this and they're coming with us into the milad, means then this is the opening of that birth of that light of the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad within their heart. So then that school is all just manners. That you're going to have a difficult time on whatever you think you know on a specific subject, and then that is going to be tested. And the knowledges that they convey may differ from person's understanding, and that's why Sayyidina Khidr is then warning you, it's going to be rough because you're going to keep challenging on these knowledges. If that's rough for Sayyidina Musa then 99% of all other humanity is impossible for them. And that's why tariqah has many people come and many people go. They reach a point in which it's too much for them and they think they have a knowledge, they think they have an understanding, and they haven't even seen anything. These are people whom their heart's not even open and hasn't opened, they think they see something, they think they have imaginations and different things, and yet that's when they have conflict, because the conflict is in their head. Conflict's not in the heart, because those whom their hearts are open they merely stay quiet and their heart is their guide, and the illumination that enters from their heart is teaching them these realities. It's the mind that is conflicting in this journey, and that's why they teach then, la ilaha illallah, that put la on your head as in negate your head, ilaha illallah, and open the power and illuminate with Allah's Divinely lights into the heart. So up, right, left, so that illallah into the heart. And as much as the servant can close down their head and not think and say that these knowledges I have nothing of its understandings, and just I'm coming to illuminate my heart. And that's the term when they teach to empty your cup. As much as we live a life of emptying the cup, Allah is continuously filling it with Divine grace and Divine rahmah. And that each knowledge that we think we know, we admit to Allah we know nothing, and Allah again fills the cup with more. That's how the shaykh is always talking about a reality, but even from a deeper level and a deeper level and a deeper level, because he's continuously been trained that to go to Allah's presence and say, I know nothing, I'm nothing, I'm nothing, I know nothing of it. And then the illumination comes and it goes deeper into that reality, deeper into that understanding. The immensity of the testing and the tariqah, that when Sayyidina Khidr agreed to take Nabi Musa on the testing, that's where the tariqah's life and the tariqah way, and specifically Naqshbandiya way, is based on those three principles. He took him to where the boat, he took him to the child, and then he took him to the wall. And this again is a reminder at this point in our lives, this point of the journey of our life, the boat. That he took him to a boat and he put a hole in the boat of a servant, and the boat sunk and the servant was not able to make his rizq. And Sayyidina Musa became very upset with that, and last year we described something about Sayyidina Musa that in these three testings why was Sayyidina Musa upset, and why was he communicating back to show his level of discomfort with Sayyidina Khidr. He said, because Sayyidina Khidr wasn't seen. And that opened the reality of social media. Means that because Sayyidina Khidr wasn't seen, when somebody broke the boat nobody could see Sayyidina Khidr. So everyone assumed it was Nabi Musa sitting out there breaking a boat of a servant of Allah. And that's when people come to judge you and you're more worried about the reaction of people versus the reaction of Allah. And that's what shaitan has built social media on. The purpose of social media is to move you based on what people are thinking. And that's what children are falling into, this trap, and they're under this dilemma. They're more concerned with what their friends and people will think of them because of the social stigma. So you're on a boat, nobody sees the shaykh you're with and just sees the boat becomes damaged and goes down. And then the concern is that the whole community will think, I broke this. And they'll come and say, what kind of person and pious person are you that you broke this man's ship? So it's not that he had an issue with Allah questioning why you broke the ship, it was more because of the social dilemma of what are people going to say when they see me breaking this ship, because they don't see you, they just see me in the ship breaking it. And that becomes the issue that's so dangerous in our lives right now. And that's why Surat al-Kahf and the teaching of the tariqah comes in such a relevance in this day and age when shaitan has perfected this understanding. He's perfected on how to move people based on the social consciousness. So kids now can't function anymore, they can't think anymore, they can't do anything anymore without the concern of… and people, kids are just now being trained and bred in it and they're being raised in this understanding. People are more concerned now about what people think and the likes they'll get and the group of friends they think they have from online services, which they may not know any of them. And they perform their life now based on these likes. And that's the danger, and that's what Sayyidina Musa and Sayyidina Khidr were showing to us as an example. One of the realities that was coming out is he had a hard time to submit to Allah because he was more concerned about the social issue. Because one whom doesn't care about anything and trained in Naqshbandiyya, they don't care about any social issue. They don't care who hates them and they don't care who likes them. They just teach and everyone else comes to them, oh this guy he posted bad about you, and now this one he posted bad about you, and when you go to this person, this shaykh he talks bad about you. They don't really care because what they do is not for that one anyways, they do everything for Allah. And through their training this social stigma and social pressure they should have overcome that. Because they know how shaitan is operating, they know what shaitan is doing with all these games and all these devices and all these softwares and apps that are being developed. And that was a reality from Surat al-Kahf. The unseen Prophet testing a Prophet and more concerned about what the society would think versus what Allah was testing him, and that's the danger. So when he complained about the boat, it was more about people watching that you're breaking a boat. And tariqah comes to teach that this is an immense danger and this path is based on your choices and your test in life. If you're inspired to do good because something coming in your life that you need that in your account, you need the zikrs and the actions in your account. All the people who have comments, likes and dislikes about what you're doing, they won't be there with you in your difficulty. They won't be there in your grave, they won't be there in any sickness you have, nothing. They have absolutely no role to play, they can't help you and they can't make it to go away. So this life of ours is based on my grave and what Allah wants from me. So then this is a big part of the testing, is that not to be a servant of social media, not to be a servant and slave of trying to get people's likes and get people's comments and to be moving towards that, because that is a form of a satanic influence upon the servant. And the training that they have is they don't care who likes, don't like, who hates them, who backbites them, because we're not doing anything for people. We do what we do for Allah and for Sayyidina Muhammad. Who likes it, alhamdulillah, ahlan wa sahlan, come join us. Who doesn't like it, goodbye to you. don't let the door hit you on the way out. So when we live and try our best to live by that standard, we're trying to break the slavery of what shaitan is trying to do. If not, you have dreams like hooks are coming into you, because shaitan is throwing out what we could give like an understanding are like hooks. So they're on a chain and he's throwing out a hook hoping that one of them hits you grabs you by the shoulder, and via that he begins to pull the servant, hold the servant, influence the servant. So these are big difficulties. These hooks are now very badly involved with children. So they can't eat without being at a specific place. They can't wear something without being a specific image, because everybody has it, everybody took a picture of it, everybody is posting about it. And that's the danger of this life right now. And this is a guidance from Surat al-Kahf, that how to avoid this difficulty, how to avoid these reactions, and that we are trying our best to perfect our character and perfect the taslim and submission. And a part of that submission is that I negate my head, I follow the shaykh, follow the guidance, and I don't need to go bounce around to any other shaykh. The more shaykhs I ask, see when you're under the adab of following a shaykh, your adab and your etiquette is not to ask a single question from anyone else. You can get as many du'as as you want, you can go sit somewhere and make a du'a and enjoy and participate. But the danger of it is when you begin to open your mouth to ask things, and when you ask and there's too many people in the kitchen destroy the stew, you can be tested very hard. So that each shaykh you ask is going to give a different answer, and most likely each answer will be conflicting, and at that time you've now entered into a danger. That's why this Surat al-Kahf is teaching an adab, that the one whom speaks to Allah, immensely high station, says, I'm going to follow you and I want to follow you until the knowledges that will make me to be rushed, a sign of humility and an adab of etiquette, that I'm going to follow. And as a result of following I'm going to stay silent. And Sayyidina Khidr said, then follow and stay silent, don't ask a question until I ask you to ask it. Means don't use your mind in this situation to continuously find conflict and go ask this one and email that one and email 20 people until you can find an answer that you like. And that becomes the difficulty again of social media, YouTube, and everyone on every corner is trying to give a guidance. So when the heart feels connected, the knowledges are the proof, the reality and the love of Sayyidina Muhammad is the direction. Then when the person finds something like that, then the adab of Surat al-Kahf comes to teach them from Allah that the good student, follow the way, keep your focus on your heart and try your best to follow the guidance and build the relationship with the shaykh. The shaykh that you're communicating with, the shaykh that you're supporting and participating, that you participate in every way that you can. This is a form of conveyance of love and the conveyance of loyalty, that I'm loyal to this shaykh, loyal to the teachings, loyal to the service, and they feed me from the knowledge and I give my loyalty in exchange. And that's the relationship that develops, and the person and the servant become rushed, where they become ripened in the way of Allah and in the love of Sayyidina Muhammad inshaAllah. With that we pray that Allah dress us and bless us, that the testings in our life will be the boat, because we don't want to go into the whole thing, but the boat is our sustenance. You come to tariqah, your sustenance is going to be all over the place until Prophet sees that it's being used correctly, that it's going in the direction of Allah, and that your focus is correct. Your focus is on your akhirah, your focus is on Allah, the focus is on the love of Sayyidina Muhammad. And at that time the servant is understanding that their sustenance is up and down by that love. If they do something wrong, Prophet brings their boat down. That's how we have taqwa. So on tariqah people, their taqwa is a self-imposed taqwa. They think they have God consciousness, therefore they are God conscious. No, tariqah they know they're God conscious because Prophet is directly lifting them up and bringing them down, lifting them up and bringing them down. You do bad and all the sustenance closes. You don't do exactly how they ask you to do things, you're not keeping your awrads, not keeping the practices, not keeping the focus, because we enlisted in a way towards the Divine reality, and voluntarily or involuntarily it doesn't matter. You could have enlisted by saying, I want to come, or you've been enlisted by Allah imposing that belief within the heart of the servant. So as a result they know by the example of the boat, this going up and down, up and down, up and down, so that they can at every moment think and contemplate, what am I doing wrong? What actions are not pleasing to Prophet, and then when they use their tafakkur, their contemplation, then the boat goes back up. And their life is like that, otherwise they think they can enter into a heedlessness to every crazy thing imaginable and think that, oh nobody's saying anything, it's okay. No, they're all witnessing. And this is the love that Allah has. When He loves the servant He has them on a very short leash. When He does not love the servant, they're on a very long leash. And that's when Allah described, we let them to have a long life and make lots of money because they're going to be in lots of punishment. Their leash is very long, they're doing whatever the heck they want, and Allah's there, don't worry about it. They have something coming in store for them. When Allah loves the servant, the rope is very short. They go a little bit and He pushes this way and come back to your senses and pushes it down. This love. Second is that the nafs tift al-malmu the naughty self, nafs
Tifl al-mazmuma.
Exactly that. That naughty boy is the bad nafs, that one got to be dead. So the tariqah is built on the energy, the teachings and the nazar of Prophet upon that bad nafs, the naughty one, the naughty boy that keep doing everything bad, everything naughty, everything forbidden, and that one has to be slayed. So then that's why people are running. They come with ecstasy to the tariqah like a wet log, they don't feel any fire. They say, oh this is beautiful, this is great, until they start to dry a little bit, they become a little bit dry, and then they can begin to feel the fire of tariqah, the energy of the tariqah, and they feel the burning. Because the nazar, the zikrs and the talks are directed towards that naughty one, until they can burn it enough, burn it enough, burn it enough, until the naughtiness is dead within the servant and subdued. And as a result their parents means the reality of you, your body and your soul will flourish. But if your third child, the child within you, your bad ego will destroy you, will destroy the marriage of your physicality and your soul. So your man, the husband is the body, the wife is the soul, the naughty boy is the nafs. So when the bad one is destroyed, then Allah will perfect the character so that their body, their soul is now being perfected. Allah will send them the boy that is from maqam al-ihsan, that comes to perfect them. Like Sayyidina Ismail begin, when you have a good reality and a good nafs within yourself, the bad one been brought down, and Allah sends from maqam al-ihsan, your inner being will begin to guide you like Sayyidina Ismail guided Sayyidina Ibrahim that, "Don't worry Baba, you're going to be tested by Allah but you find me to be patient." His maqam al-ihsan gave him sakeenah and tranquility within his heart that, "Stabilize yourself, don't get nervous, don't worry, this will pass, everything is okay." Because this is a perfection inside that Allah gave. But if you're operating from a naughty hidden inside, it will destroy everything, everything. Every time something turn around you're naughty and doing the wrong things. And what was once a crystal tree of life, of beauty, Allah will smash it and make it to be darkened. So it means that then is the basis of tariqah training, tariqah energy, tariqah realities, and then the wall. And this is our whole life is khidmat, that to live a life in which you only serve yourself, you have patience, you make millions of dollars and you serve yourself is a wasted life. A life without khidmat, a life without service is a life without any value. And that's what Sayyidina Khidr was trying to teach Sayyidina Musa is that, "Look, we build the wall, Allah wanted them to treat us bad because we're not building it to make them happy. We're not building it for money from these people, we're building this as a khidmat for Sayyidina Muhammad because he left a trust for these children. And as a result we will build it and safeguard their trust." And that's the reality we have within ourselves. The shaykhs are building us, perfecting us because we have a trust, we have an amanat, we have a reality and a knowledge that Allah has deposited within our reality. And our role is to reach it until we become rushd and mature and that we can inherit that inheritance. So then our whole life is a khidmat. So we learn in our life that my life and the most valuable time of my life is the time that I served. I served the Muhammadan way, I served the reality and I served the people. My focus more with the service to Prophet on what they want from us to be of service to the people and propagating knowledge for the sake of that service, supporting and helping people for the sake of that service. And that's why then they have what they have. They have the charities, they have the store so that you can serve by participating. Let's say I go out and I make my rizq and I want to participate with them, I want to give to the charity, I want if I'm going to get something from Islamic things I'll get from the store, I want to spread the books, I want to spread links, I want to spread the articles and post them to different social media so it goes all over the world. And this is a life of service. And if there's somebody that you can go and feed, you go and feed them. If there's somebody that you can help, you go to help them. And this is our life, our life is a life of service. And that brings the immense blessings. Without that and thinking that I just go and amass a fortune every day working and getting lots of pay, because when you go to work and people are paying you for that, that's not a service. Although in your mind you'd love to think, "Oh no, I'm serving the people." Yeah, but you're getting paid 50,000 a month, that's not service, that's making a lot of money. Service is when you get nothing from the people. When you find the orphans and you feed them, when you find the charities and you give to them, when you go out on a food drive and you go out with them and give the food to people. We do what we do without the recompense and getting a salary from it and getting funds from it. So this is a different understanding in life, and this is a life of khidmat in which we go out and we try our best to be of service to Allah's creation, but most important to be in service to the Muhammadan way, to be of service to the love of Sayyidina Muhammad and propagating that love to people with sending out the videos, sending out YouTube, sending out the books, sending out articles so that people come to guidance. And there are then many hadiths on the spreading of knowledge, that the one whom seeks knowledge and distributes and dispenses that knowledge, they say that all the angels in creation pray and praise upon that servant. All the way to the fishes within the sea, everything Allah created, they pray upon the servant whom is seeking knowledge and teaching knowledges. of the Divine. The immensity of it is something that can't be understood. The one whom seeks knowledges, it's the highest level. The one whom teaches knowledges and seeks knowledge, say all of Allah's creation is praising upon that servant. And that's why we have many, the Farsi nasheeds, I think some of the Urdu nuts describe that when a servant would walk into the mountains talk to each other that one of the knowers of Allah has entered upon my mountain. And all the animals of that mountain, all the birds of that mountain, every tree, every vein, every root of every tree and flower knows that a servant of Allah has entered upon its mountain. Because the interconnectivity of this creation and what Allah gave it of an existence and the height and the reality of those whom have and seek out the heavenly knowledges and the Muhammadan reality. Haqiqat al-Muhammadiyya is the highest of knowledges to achieve and to seek out. So when we understood all those things, then we understand the greatness of the path and the greatness of khidmat and service to the path. We pray that Allah dress us and bless us, preserve us and keep all difficulty away. And by the blessings of awliyaullah, of what Allah has given to them, Abu Ahmad Saghuri that Qaddasallahu Siru, that they say that the Muhammadan light within his reality, how it touched every corner of this universe, realities that can't be known, and that he has a special gift for the month of Safar, the month of power and knowledges and hikmah. And we pray that the nazar of these awliyaullah always be upon us, our families and our communities, and that they fill us with their love and with their guidance, and fill our soul with their love and their guidance, and all of the Naqshbandi golden chain, all Ahlul Bayt al-Nabi, all Ashab al-Nabi, and that Prophet's nazar be upon us, our families and our community, and above all of them that Allah's rida and satisfaction to dress us and bless us. Bi hurmati Muhammad al-Mustafa Basir Surat al-Fatiha. Kashafat ya Rasul Kareem. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Alhamdulillah, it's interactive Thursday, and we have had a lot of talks from last week and Sayyidina Musa and these things. If people can make comments on the things we talked about, so that we have an impression that people are understanding this. When we talk, it's good to convey back to us that you understood what we talked about. Otherwise sometimes they have a feeling that we're just throwing things out and don't know, got it, didn't get it, you understood it, didn't understand it. That's why on the videos if you can make comments that something to what you heard, that Shaykh, I heard this and like this, I heard this and this, so that we get feedback. It's important to have the feedback that the people are understanding, comprehending, and inshaAllah that way we can go deeper without making people to be confused or going over and above the head inshaAllah. So
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah.
Can you please explain the difference in enlightenment between Hindu meditation and Islamic meditation?
The enlightenment, Hindu meditation has no enlightenment, it's idol worshipping. So there's no light at all, it's devoid of light. So unless we praise the Divine and we seek a power higher than ourselves, not something we've made from our hands. So the acknowledgement of tafakkur and contemplation is that I'm an oppressor to myself and I'm seeking guidance. That's why we don't meditate alone. It's my alone that's endangering me. It's myself that is my enemy. You know, if you watch Venom you'll understand. It's like sitting down and saying, I want me and Venom to be in a room, meditate. Why would I want that? If I'm going to sit and meditate in silence by myself, my demonic ego is going to be sitting in the room with me. and he's going to rip me to pieces because he's got me all alone exactly where he wanted me. So tafakkur was never something like that. So tafakkur came with the science of reality that go to the room, acknowledge you have venom with you, is a demonic ego of your character, and then ask for your shaykh to be there present with you. And so that the miracle can begin to happen for you, so you understand who your shaykh is and that their nazar and their soul is very powerful. So when you go into the room, you close your eyes and ask for your shaykh to be present because your GPS coordinates has to be clear. So we read the madad, we're asking from Allah from the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad, Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, all the way to the end of the golden chain to be present with me, and asking my shaykh to be present with me, and that I'm a weak servant, I'm an oppressive servant, and I visualize that my shaykh is with me and I'm nothing. So it's very specific, and that the nazar of the shaykh is like a satellite, that they come with the perfected light from heavens. That heavenly light has to keep shining on me to burn my demons. So they don't like that, so they tell you, no, don't do this kind of meditation. So imagine without this heavenly coordinates, without the satellite of shaykhs sitting there sending their light onto you, burning all the bad character, and then all the specifics on how we teach how to do that, you're asking from heavens. So it's like having a satellite dish on your house and say, now I want to turn on the TV but I want heavenly satellite channels. Without the satellite there's nothing comparable to that. You can't say, I'm just going to get a TV and I'm going to turn it on and I'm going to receive the satellite images, you're going to receive nothing. So anything that's not developed by that heavenly reality, no matter how much they copied us and no matter how much they took from the teachings of enlightened and monotheistic beliefs, it's not the same. And the reality can be like a hair, it can look like it's the same, they talk like they're the same, but it's nowhere near the same. Because when you go into a room and you call upon statues and you breathe about different creatures, you're going to become possessed. And that's why many of them that do those practices, they begin to tattoo themselves with snakes. So we met many people that were doing these types of different practices and they had snakes tattooed on their back and on their spine. And we asked one of the gentlemen that, why do you have a snake on your back? It's horrific from our teaching. He said, no, that's my kundalini. So what the heck you talking about? You know what kind of demon has fooled you? That's the demon. That when that demon is wrapping on your spine, he's trying to take your God-given force because he doesn't have it, he's devoid of any light from God. So he lives off of the electromagnetic field of this earth, he's not getting heavenly support. So you're a blessed creation and your spine is like your alif is the power of Allah comes on insan and moves on their spine. So that's not anything kundalini or whatever that is, that was demons possessing people and fooling them that these energies and get these tattoos and these markings, but they're being yoked by shaitans, tied up and like cattle by shaitan. So Islamic tafakkur is not even anything comparable. It is the prime and the golden realities of paradise, and there's nothing on this earth that even in a drop of similarity to its reality. Everything else is very, very demonic and becoming more and more demonic, and these are why these people then marking themselves with these demonic images all over them. So very, very different. And this is also a najat in the last days. The reason they're allowing all of this teaching everywhere, it's a salvation that if you make the connection, make the madad and understanding, when these demons begin to show themselves and be prevalent, now they're showing them in people. You can see now every man and woman is marked with markings all over their body. So they're already showing themselves. When they actually begin to come out of the markings, then the game is on. But those who made their tafakkur, their contemplation, their madad, they should also see the same realities from paradise, that they feel the madad coming out, the energies and the realities of the heavens coming out, and lights that are blessing them, dressing them, and inshaAllah protecting them.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
If we plan on migrating, should we migrate to Vancouver where the center is, or better to migrate to Medina?
Yeah, I wouldn't plan on migrating anywhere right now. Nothing is of that reality. Everyone wherever they are, Allah has protection for them, because Allah wrote for them to be where they are. If He wanted them somewhere else, He would have wrote for them to be somewhere else. This is not about running somewhere, this is about building ourselves. Because wherever we go, Allah says, we don't change a condition of a people until they change what's within themselves. So if we feel that we're in a bad area, we're going to be in difficulty, well we have to make sure that we are in ourselves good, and that we've built ourselves, protected ourselves, enlightened ourselves, and then Allah make all the conditions around us to be protected. When you do the madad, that's what we said before, that when you do the madad, the shaykh can reach you wherever you are. He doesn't need you to be 5 feet in front of him looking at him. They don't need that at all, and the more that you are in front of him you may become heedless of your practices. So wherever people are, the shaykh can reach them. It's just a matter of you focusing. As soon as you focus, the light of that soul is there, faster than the speed of thought. So we don't understand our power of manifestation. That was interesting. So we have some people that very enlightened, and they started to ask questions about manifestation. And the power that Allah has given to us is something that people don't understand. So He gave us the ability to think, but in reality we have ability to manifest. So with this aql, shaitan hijacks our brain for what? Because manifest something, you have a gift that God gave to you. So when he manifests somebody to conjure demonic images and put them in demonic movies, they now came into existence because of your thoughts. Because Allah gave this gift to insan, وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي Adam. So when the demonic force comes to Bani Adam and says, make something horrific, and they use their God-given gift to think of these horrible things, Allah's allowing them to conjure it and manifest it, and as a result it takes on an existence. That's why I said, if you see it, Allah brought it into existence. And this is a gift from our ability to make things happen. And that's why then the tariqahs come to teach that you are a very powerful being, manifested in Allah's way. So that when you visualize, I want to visualize myself in the presence of Prophet Allah then make your reality to be there. I want to visualize myself like this. So everything that we're doing, we're manifesting all the holy of holies, and that's what's important. But now people are manifesting all their bad ideas, bad characteristics. So now there's a person, for example, doesn't have anything, but in their alter ego they wish, I wish I had this Ferrari, I wish I had this cash, I wish I had these hotels and restaurants. Before you would just wish it. Now shaitan is teaching them how to conjure it. So then they actually push their desire and they start to take pictures with the car that's not theirs. They start to Photoshop restaurants that they didn't go to. They build the whole identity that takes a life of its own. And all of a sudden all over Facebook the person's a big influencer, having this, having that, being here, travelling there, until 10 years later of his manifestation that he actually took that wasn't real and manifested it into something, and it took on an existence of its own, and then later on 5 years later they arrest him for lying and cheating and everything fraudulent. So social media is actually shaitan is using their power to understand and manifest. So now everyone's manifesting their alter ego that was bad, their nakedness, their inappropriateness, the things they don't have, all their desires, all the things that they want. Shaitan is making them to manifest it with social media, and now it's taking on a force of their own. But the more demonic one is that when the person does that, that entity and that nafs is now very powerful, very demonic, very dunya oriented, and it begins to influence their actual own personality. Because now it took on a force of its own, and that's what the Venom movie is trying to show people, that the negativeness within somebody can begin to manifest. If you give it a life and you give it power, it will become something huge and demonic. Because we don't understand the nafs and we don't understand how demonic it can become and how big and horrific it can become. And that's why Prophet brought for everything for us from childhood, destroy the nafs of your children and destroy the nafs of how it's going to grow. That's why what we eat, what we drink, how we discipline our children was all geared towards destroying that nafs, not empowering it, not letting a little shaitan to grow into a demon that will go out and kill people. Because once that demon is big, it will overtake that person and influence everything that the person wants to do. So this power of manifestation is now very prevalent on this earth. And that's why tariqah is coming and teaching to us is manifest the good, manifest that your love for Prophet you manifest it, Allah will make it to be real, Allah will make your presence to be in that presence, Allah will make all of those realities that you're asking for to be real. Don't move towards the nafsani and make all of those horrific characteristics to be real. And that's why you see the world is now separated, 99% are this way and less than 1% are the other way.
As-salamu alaykum Mawlana.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
Is it permissible to request madad from mountains, rivers, fire and other natural elements, and how can we connect with them? Thank you for your guidance.
Yeah, better to focus on the madad of the shaykh. Yeah. Why do you need the madad of the mountain if you're not madad doing the madad of the shaykh? That's why that we keep going over it as if it's simple, but I don't think that many people have understood that yet. That when you madad the presence of the shaykh and madad the shaykh and understanding and go into the fana of the shaykh and lose yourself in their reality, you're losing yourself in the reality of Sayyidina Muhammad. So why focus on anything but the Muhammadan reality? Because then you're wasting your time and you become like Indians that want to put tobacco around themselves and call on bears. Why do we want to call on bears? We don't want physical bears, more or less spiritual bears. We don't call on the eagles and the hawks and the fox. I don't want to see any of these animals in real life, more or less their spiritual reality, because they're spiritually around too. 10 times more spiritual presence of bears than physical bears. If Allah created one physical bear, He created 10 spiritual bears in the jinn world. And that's why these people who call on these creatures, but imagine in physical world calling on all the physical bears, your house will be a zoo. It wouldn't be anything heavenly. And that's why then you put tobacco and all these bizarre things around you because it's a zoo. But if you want from the heavens, then that's the only focus. I want to take a Muhammadan guide, I want to visualize them, I want their light to be with them because who's them and what are they coming with? And by an entry door I manifest my presence in that door and I make that to be a door for me that every time I go through that door I enter into the presence of Sayyidina, into the realities of manifestation. Because you make a scene for yourself You visualize a time in which you saw the shaykh, you saw him visually on the shows, you saw him in person, and that become like a door for you. Every time I want to sit and make my tafakkur, I see that image and it becomes for me like a spiritual… what is that show that has that circle? Stargate. They use the image of a stargate, right? But this is our stargate. So as soon as I see that image of my shaykh, I remember it and I make that to be the manifestation of the door I'm going to go through. And as soon as I see that image, I see myself and I ask to be greeting, I'm asked to be dressing, then I'm asking to enter into that reality in which I don't exist, and I entered into that reality of that manifestation. And that Allah then opens that ability, that make that gate and go through it. But you have to work on it, believe in it and keep pushing it to happen, and then as a result Allah makes that door to manifest for you, and by via that door you enter into that reality, you enter into their wujood, into their reality and their light. And then they take you up into the lights, into the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad, and then again the same. That once that opens up, then there's a manifestation in which they see the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad, and that becomes their door in their heart for them that, Ya Rabbi, that this is my manifestation, this is the door in which I enter to. And as soon as they visualize it, they're moving into that reality. So this is a very powerful power that Allah gave to us. People don't understand the heavenly, but look what they're doing with the satanic. That how people are empowering their egos. Everybody had these bizarre desires, nobody knew about them. But now the whole world is posting fake images on Instagram. Cars they don't have, money they don't have, lives they don't have, bodies they don't have. They say all the images have been altered. Fat people making themselves super slim, slim people making themselves invisible. And they're so bad at editing that all the area around a person has been altered and people can see it's all been photoshopped, faces that are not even their faces. They showed all these faces, they're cartoon faces, it's so photoshopped. Why? So that all of this alter ego is now manifesting. Imagine all the negativity with that creature that you just now manifested and brought into this world and gave it an image, and it's now feeding like a venom, and that will now come back to destroy the physicality. That's the demon that's now appearing. Just you think.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Walaikum salam.
Wondering if you can elaborate on the 7 names to know more about ourselves and lower our nafs. Forgive me for my ignorance.
Yeah, you have to just meditate. You have to first get to know yourself and the name that you have, and to make the connection with the shaykh, and through that connection to get the inspiration of who you are and what your connection and what your reality with the shaykh is. That's why that is an important stage. Just to know the 7 names is of no value. Those 7 names only come into effect when the meditation is very strong, the tafakkur strong, the connection with the shaykh is strong. They go into their fana and later they begin to meet those personalities and they inspire what Allah created them for. Those are 7 manifestations that Allah will begin to show you these manifestations and what is their role in your ascension into the Divinely Presence, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Walaikum salam.
What's the reality of eyes starting to burn all of a sudden?
Who's starting to burn?
Eyes.
Eyes they pick up energy. So nur and hay they pick up lights. So people who, if you go places and their lights are not good, not clean and or they have no light, then the eyes burn and pick up all the bad energies. They become red, it's very difficult. So best always to walk with your eyes to the ground and always keep yourself in wudu. So before you leave anywhere you make wudu, pray salatul wudu as a protection, have your taweez. And when you walk try to keep your eyes down as much as possible. If you're looking, it's carrying everything. And that's why we have nazar bar qadam. So I keep my eyes upon my feet, and then it goes deeper. When I train myself to be a person that's looking down, to be humble, then it begins to teach the reality of the nazar, and the nazar is actually your heart's desire. Keep your heart's desire to be on your path and on your reality, and to reach towards the Divinely Presence inshaAllah.
Many of the other questions are all answered in your new book.
In the new book, okay good, yeah. Make sure that people have a timeless reality inshaAllah, and that you take the link and make a review on Amazon. A very basic review, thank you, it was an amazing book, great, everything. But if you make it seem like like you're promoting the book, I think Amazon is kicking them all out. They're not allowing and thinking we're sending people to do that. So as much as it can be sort of neutral, that it was great, I read the book, and then if you take the link from the Timeless Reality and share it onto social media, to WhatsApp groups, to different groups inshaAllah, Allah dress you, bless you, and we get that out, and it's an amazing resource for tafakkur and contemplation. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon wa salaamun al mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati Muhammad al-Mustafa wa bi siri Surat al-Fatiha. Shafat ya Rasul Kareem. Bi Jummah Mubarak inshaAllah, and we do Baniyat Khatm Khawjagan inshaAllah. We do the silent khatam, and then from the فَمَن لَهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ we go loud, and we'll do the 3 shahada out loud, the du'a out loud, and then the rest will be all silent inshaAllah. فَأَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ بِسْمِillَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ أَشْهَدُ أَن لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَأَشْهَدُ أَنَّ مُحَمَّدًا عَبْدُهُ وَرَسُولُهُ.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. 25 times Astaghfirullah. أستغفر الله العظيم الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه إنه هو التواب الرحيم من كل ذنب ومعصية من كل ما يخالف دين الإسلام من كل ما يخالف الشريعة من كل ما يخالف الطريقة من كل ما يخالف المعرفة من كل ما يخالف الحقيقة من كل ما يخالف العظيم يا أرحم الراحمين يا الله. اللهم يا مسبب الأسباب يا مفتح الأبواب يا مقلب القلوب والأبصار يا دليل المتحيرين يا غياث المستغيثين يا حي يا قيوم يا ذو الجلال والإكرام. وأفوض أمري إلى الله إن الله بصير بالعباد. Rabita Sharif, 7 times Surah Fatiha. Ten times Salawat. Seven times Surah Alam Nashrah. 11 times Surah Ikhlas. Seven times Surah Fatiha. Ten times Salawat. اللهم بلغ ثواب ما قرأناه ونور ما تلوناه هدية واصلة منا إلى روح نبينا سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وإلى أرواح إخوانه من الأنبياء والمرسلين وخدماء شرائعهم وإلى أرواح الأئمة الأربعة وإلى أرواح مشايخنا في الطريقة النقشبندية العلية خاصة إلى روح إمام الطريقة وغوث الخليقة خواجة بهاء نقشبند محمد الواسع البخاري ولا سلطان الأولياء مولانا الشيخ عبد الله فايز داغستاني ولا سلطان الأولياء مولانا الشيخ ناظم الحقاني ومولانا الشيخ هشام القباني ومولانا الشيخ عدنان القباني ومولانا الشيخ عادل ومولانا سيدي الشيخ نور جامع الأحمدي صاحب الزمان سيدنا محمد المهدي عليه السلام وروح الله سيدنا عيسى عليه السلام وسيف الله سيدنا علي عليه السلام وإلى سائر ساداتنا والصديقين. الفاتحة. فاعلم أنه لا إله إلا الله 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 لا لا إله إلا الله 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 محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد حبيب الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد حبيب الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد خليل الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد خليل الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد سفي الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد سفي الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد نبي الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد نبي الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد نجي الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد نجي الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد شفيع الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد شفيع الله عليه صلوات الله والسلام عليه الله 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 نعم المولى ونعم النصير ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الله الله حق 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 الله الله حي 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 الله حي يا قيوم
الله حي يا قيوم
الله حي يا قيوم الله حي يا قيوم الله حي يا قيوم الله حي يا قيوم الله حي يا قيوم الله حي يا قيوم الله حي يا قيوم الله حي يا قيوم حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم يا هو يا هو يا دائم يا هو يا هو يا دائم يا هو يا هو يا دائم الله يا هو يا دائم الله يا هو يا دائم يا دائم يا دائم يا دائم يا الله يا حليم يا حليم يا حليم يا الله يا لطيف يا لطيف يا لطيف يا الله يا غفار يا غفار يا غفار يا الله يا ستار يا ستار يا ستار يا الله يا فتاح يا فتاح يا فتاح يا الله يا مجيب يا مجيب يا مجيب يا الله يا معيز يا معيز يا معيز يا الله يا معين يا معين يا معين يا الله يا ودود يا ودود يا ودود يا الله يا رحمن يا رحمن يا رحمن يا الله يا رحيم يا رحيم يا رحيم يا الله يا حنان يا حنان يا حنان يا الله يا منان يا منان يا منان يا الله يا ديان يا ديان يا ديان يا الله يا سبحان يا سبحان يا سبحان يا الله يا سلطان يا سلطان يا سلطان يا الله يا أمان يا أمان يا أمان يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله أنت الله أنت الله أنت الله يا الله هو الله هو الله هو الله يا الله هو الله هو الله هو الله يا الله حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. 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 حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. نعم المولى ونعم النصير ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ربنا الله. 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 حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. نعم المولى ونعم النصير ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. يا غالبا غير مغلوب. 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 يا شاهدا غير مغيب. يا شاهدا غير مغيب. يا شاهدا غير مغيب. يا قاربا غير بعيد. يا قاربا غير بعيد. يا قاربا غير بعيد. يا غالبا غير مغلوب. يا غالبا غير مغلوب. يا غالبا غير مغلوب. صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وسلم. 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 اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وسلم.
صل يا ربي وسلم جميع أنبيائه ومرسلين كلهم أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. للشرف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عليه وصحبه الكرام وعلى مشايخنا في طريقة النشبندية العالية، خاصة الروح الممتلئ غوث خليك شان نشبة محمد ويس البخاري، سلطان أولياء الشيخ عبد الله فايز الداغستاني، سلطان أولياء الشيخ محمد ناظم حقاني مع الشيخ هشام كباني، الشيخ عدنان كباني، الشيخ محمد عادل، عبد الخالق الخشدواني، صاحب زمان سيدنا محمد المهدي عليه السلام، روح الله سيدنا عيسى عليه السلام، سيف الله سيدنا عليه السلام، ثم سبق الصديق سيدنا عمر سيدنا عثمان، إمام الحسن عليه السلام، إمام الحسين عليه السلام، سيدتنا فاطمة عليه السلام، وسائر ساداتنا صدقين. الفاتحة. يا شيخ يا رسول الكريم. Jummah Mubarak to everyone, inshaAllah. Allah bless you, bless you and grant us a blessed Jummah, and inshaAllah so many ways to participate and be of service. InshaAllah inspire our hearts in which to live a life of khidmat and service, and inshaAllah we see everybody tomorrow night. And next couple of weeks entering into the Mawlid al-Nabi and preparing for that event, and those whom are coming to Vancouver and those whom are in Vancouver, make sure that they have their tickets from Eventbrite. We have an online at Mawlid mawlid.ca, and that has a link to the Eventbrite so that they have tickets for the tables, and if they don't want a table then there's tickets that have just for the seating. InshaAllah dress everyone and bless everyone. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. InshaAllah see everybody.